What's up, guys? Tukey here, back again. This is my Boston Bruins franchise mode series here on NHL 17, and today, the Season 5 sim begins. It's an odd year. The anti-San Francisco Giants are due for their third cup. It's win the cup, lose to Montreal, win the cup, lose to Montreal. This is our year, although if we get matched up with Montreal in the playoffs, I will shit myself out of fright. But anyway, this is the team. Obviously a pretty damn eventful episode last time out. A lot of changes, a lot of tough decisions to go with certain players over others. And we will see if that pays off. Now, Jeff Skinner, Tyler Seguin, David Pastrnak will still be the top line. That second line, well, actually, really, there's a lot to prove from that first line. There's a lot to prove from that second line. A ton to prove from the third line. And actually, I wanted to show you that we've switched Noah Gregor to a sniper. Not the best on faceoffs, and that's the thing. I'm very scared that Gregor, Strome, and Teratukin just aren't ready. Gregor and Teratukin, of course, listed as depth players, kind of in the same spot where Jake DeBrusk is, but we know Jake DeBrusk has NHL-ready stats, so it is a very tough situation. Defensively, it's looking amazing. We've switched Roman Josi from a two-way to offensive defenseman. We've switched Cholowski from a two-way to an offensive defenseman, and Bellefeuille, which every time his name is so fucking French. Every time I say it, I'm gonna sound like a goddamn tool, and I apologize, but it's Bellefeuille. He's with Carlo. Carlo has a lot to prove, and I mean, that's the thing. It was tough, and you know what? This is going to be terrible audio quality. I'm going to hate myself for doing this. Can I find the page? Yes, I can. It's right here. We traded away the likes of Torrey Krug, Libor Hayek, Hedberg, like the caliber of defensemen, Zaboral even. Like, we picked Bellefeuille and Carlo over a Zaboral-Krug pairing, which I'm regretting a little bit. I mean, that's the thing. Zaboral didn't get any better last year. Carlo didn't get any better. And really, from the looks of it, maybe it would have been a nice idea to have a Krug-Bellefeuille pairing right about now. But we'll see. We will see. And that's the thing, too. We obviously have the resources to make certain deals if this team starts to struggle. Hermé is actually going to be the backup in the goaltending situation, man. Hermé, Skinner, and Sawchuk, all medium starter, all likely to be great players. But then there's Shane Finger, who we really need to get into the lineup. And I guarantee you, he will at least play the second half of the season, probably after the All-Star break, which is when we tend to make our moves. But early on here, we will sim probably the first month and a half, just to see what happens. And looking at the free agent list, there is at least someone who might stick around, that being Brian Little, that we could bring on if necessary. We have a ton of cap space, so that's certainly not an issue. The team's just in a weird spot where I genuinely don't know how they're going to perform. We had a great postseason, preseason, off-season, postseason, preseason. Jesus. Third time was the charm, and then I fucked it up again. Anyway, we have a pretty busy opening month, and then November is also pretty crazy. We are going to sim to Monday, November 16th, just beyond the halfway point of that month, and we will see how this team is doing. Hopefully we're doing well, and we don't find the need to make any major changes, but unlike in the fantasy draft series, I genuinely can't feel completely confident in this team. But who knows? Anything can happen on this game, so let's find out. How will the 2020-2021 Boston Bruins do? Better than the real life Bruins, I can guarantee you that. Zing! Fuck. So do you guys remember that time where I told you that I wasn't sure of what this team was going to be? We might be good, we might be bad. As it turns out, this might be hard for you to believe. We're a good team. 13-0-3. No regulation losses through our first 16 games, at least 1 point every step of the way. A shootout loss to New Jersey in our third game of the year, which in hindsight, that doesn't look too good. Then moving on to November, a shootout loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are a good team. And then we lost in the shootout in our last game. Hermé was in the net between the pipes. In that game, we lost 3-2 in overtime. I don't know what to say. 29 points, 10 points above the Maple Leafs, who we play next. So this is actually going to be a big game. 98 offense, not sure when that happened. But as we quickly take a look at the team, you will notice that fourth line. Now, Cole Castles went down to injury, and then Matthew Strome went down to injury. Castles is still out. Strome came back, but we sent him down to Providence because this fourth line, did I say third line before? I'm not sure. This fourth line was performing great, and they're still doing okay. Riley Tufte, 4 points. He's a +7. 10 points for Teratukin. He's a +4. And then 5 points for Sasha Chmielewski. Sasha. 5 points, and he is a +7. So things are looking good, and as it is, Strome's actually jumped up to an 83 and is doing fairly well, kind of. Yeah, 6 points in 5 games down in the AHL. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. We'll take a look at the third line next. Gurionov, 8 points, a -3, 7 points for Gregor, and only 4 points for DeBrusk, also a -3. Second line, why not reverse order? 12 points for Stromwall, 6 for Patrick, and 8 for Senyshyn. And then the top line, Jeff Skinner, doing fairly well with 12 points. Tyler Seguin performing like the Tyler Seguin that we thought we were getting last year. And then Pasternak, 15 points, 13 helpers. But I can't help but think the defense is a big part of the reason as to why we're having success. 10 points for Yossi, 11 for Chalowski, Grzelcyk with 11, 8 points for Hamilton, Bellefeuille with 4, and 3 points for Carlos. Still no progression. Where are the upward pointing arrows? Like, progress, damn it. We need you to be a little bit better. And with our cap space, I won't be afraid to trade for somebody just to get him for a year. I really won't be. Tuukka Rask, 920 save percentage, and Hermé, 4 appearances, a 938. So things are looking pretty good. Actually, down in the AHL, Skinner not doing tremendously. We're going to give Sawchuk a run with the Providence Bruins. But yeah, unbelievable run so far. We're going to get another decent bit of simming done here. And actually, why beat around the bush, right? Why waste our time? Unless something colossal happens. Jesus Christ. Yeah, look at when the oh my God. That's a lot of simming. That's a lot of simming to be done. So I think rather than just going to the middle of December, well then again, a lot can change. We're either going to the middle of December or we're going to the All-Star break. I'm not sure which yet. We will find out. Alright guys, so some things have happened. It is currently December 30th, 2020. Just about to go into the new year with a 25-5-4 record, 11 points above the Ottawa Senators. Now, when you look at this, and we are only 34 games in, we have a long way to go, certain things have happened. Immediately, we lost 3 straight games, including this game to the Florida Panthers, where Tuukka Rask went down to injury. So, Stuart Skinner was brought up, Hannu Hermé was given the first start, and we had a 2-loss policy. If Hermé lost 2 games, Stuart Skinner was coming in. Hermé proceeded to win the rest of the 5 games you can see here, these games here as well, and we didn't lose until we played Calgary, and that was Stuart Skinner. So Hermé goes and wins 2 more games, Skinner loses to Chicago, and then Hermé finally loses to Philly. So we have lost 3 out of our last 5. Tuukka has returned. By the way, the Providence Bruins also killing it, 17-7-4. Tuukka's back. And, oh man, I went to the wrong menu anyway. The goalie situation, someone made the most of their opportunity, and somebody didn't. And the AHL situation has also changed. Hanno Herme is up to an 83 and has a .928 save percentage, 19 appearances, 15 wins. We go down to the AHL, where Evan Sawchuk has been starting ever since the other two were called up. He's played 18 games, 9 wins, a .927 save percentage, and Shane Finger is up to a 71, which I think is what he was anyway. I can't remember his progression. I think Stuart Skinner's the odd man out. He wasn't doing that well in Providence, and then you look at the NHL stats, only 2 games, but an .897 save percentage. I think Stuart Skinner is on his way out, and that way at least Shane Finger can be the backup, and we'll probably go with Sawchuk and Finger for the rest of the year. And then looking here too, I don't want to get too in-depth with it, but for now, the fourth line will remain the same with Tufte, Teratukin, and Sasha. And the defense is still looking okay. We do have some underperforming players, but for now, the team will remain the same, with the exception of the fact that we need to go out and we need to trade away Stuart Skinner because there just aren't enough spots, and there's no reason to carry him as a third-string goalie down in Providence, where he just simply won't get the playing time. Now, he actually has the best value between him, Sawchuk, and Herme, which, again, I don't really want to trade him because he is going to become a good goaltender, I am sure. But actually, let me go look at the standings really quick, and we'll do this live for the hell of it. So all we're going to do is go to whoever the hell is in last, and then we'll trade Stuart Skinner to them. Quick and easy, and try to get a decent draft pick out of it, because as it is right now, Skinner's not, hopefully not, at a point where he can help turn a team's season around. The Tampa Bay Lightning are atrocious. Absolutely atrocious, so we will look to send... I don't want to send them within the division. So the Vancouver Canucks are the target. They were the lowest team from the Western Conference. I mean, it's not like we're going to get a first-round pick out of this. It'll be a second if we are lucky. But still, it's not bad. Why did I go to draft picks? As it is, too, the draft pick situation is looking pretty nice. It's just going to be another second-rounder added to the mix, in which case, if we want to make a trade, we absolutely can. I'm surprised they're doing as poorly as they are with Demko, Hollett, and Markstrom. They don't exactly need another goalie. I don't exactly care, because I want this pick. Now, I doubt this goes through, but it's worth a shot. And indeed it didn't. So let's go and add some of these lower draft picks to try and make this go through. That didn't go through either. They are going to be stingy, despite them wanting to trade the picks, which means they probably want to be a better team than they are. So that's weird. They are listed as hopefuls, too. And from the looks of it, my hope of getting that third-round pick is quickly dwindling away. And indeed, that isn't going to go through. But maybe, if we give them a fifth-round pick next year, it'll go through, and I am content with that. So Stuart Skinner and a shitload of picks to Vancouver for their second and third. You bitches. How about another fifth-round pick? I will give you all of the fifth-round picks. Just let this trade go through. Jesus Christ. Fine. My God. Anything to make this episode last longer. 2 fourths and a fifth. Stuart Skinner for a second and a third. God, Jim Benning, when did you smarten up? When did that happen? Thank you. Skinner is off to Vancouver, and we have even more draft picks. Not like we needed them, but Hannu Herme has absolutely earned the starting job. Tuukka Rask is back in net, and we're going to sim to the All-Star break. We have a long way to go before we get there, but let's sim to the All-Star break, and then we'll get you a look at this team that has been absolutely ridiculous this season. Now, we've stopped halfway through the season. We are 41 games in. We are back to winning games, which is nice. 31-6-4 on the season. But we have a problem. We have a decision to make. And it's at the point where I'm actually going to stop the episode early because I want your input. Now, looking at this team, we'll actually put this back to what it would have been. Skinner has been playing on the top line. Jeff Skinner, right now, not doing amazing. And actually, we will quickly go take a look at the other menu because I'm starting to like that a bit more. because you can at least see the games played and all of that in one spot. So let's take a look. We will sort by centers. So Tyler Seguin, 42 points in 41 games. Great. That's what we wanted Tyler Seguin for. This is concerning. Second in scoring is Noah Gregor, who of course has been the third line center. 18 points in 41 games. He's a +2. He is up to an 85, but still listed as just a depth forward, which is weird. Offensively, he looks amazing, but still concerning. And then you have Sasha Chmelevski, regardless, who's been playing fourth line right wing. He has 15 points in 34 games. He's a +8. And then Nolan Patrick, only 15 points in 41 games. He is currently a power forward. You could argue for sniper or even playmaker. Disappointing season so far for Nolan Patrick. And then Cole Castles. And he's the reason why we stopped, because he has just come back from injury. He has missed all but the first 4 games. And we have the option to try and get him back into the lineup. But to do that, we would have to send down Chmelevski. We would have to send down Gregor or Riley Tufte, who has 10 points in 37 games. He's a +8, so he's done okay. Or Jake DeBrusk, 41 games, 8 points. 8. He's a -1. He's like, his attributes have gone up, but he's really not progressing too well. He's 24 years old. Is now the time to cash out on Jake DeBrusk? Is he just not going to be the player that we thought he was going to be? Teratukin is somebody else that we could send down. We actually switched him over to a two-way forward. 16 points in 41 games on the fourth line this year. Zachary Senyshyn on the second line, only 20 points in 41 games. Pasternak has 39 in 41, so that's nice. But, yeah, they're just... I can't believe we're winning, considering some of the underperforming players. Stromwall, 28 points in 41 games. Skinner with 27. Guryanov with 17. Tufte with 10. And then Strome had 3 points in 7 games before Tufte and Chmelevski really caught fire. The defense, Cholowski, 29 points. Yossi, 28. Grzelcyk, 22. 20 for Hamilton. Belfai with 83. And Carlo with only 4 points in 37 games. No progression from Brandon Carlo. If we get rid of DeBrusk, I think we ship Carlo right there with him. And Belfai hasn't really progressed either. So we could look, and Chris McIntyre had a little bit of playing time. We could look at getting someone, 2 players with 1 year left. Like, we have those picks. You've seen those picks. And we'll look at them again really quick. We could go out and get a defenseman with 1 year left on his deal, a great defenseman, and just have them be on the third pairing. And still have our top 4 defensemen be there. I don't see why we wouldn't go for the cup this year, you know? And then the goaltending. Hanu Herme is 18-2 in 22 appearances with a .932 save percentage. Tuukka Rask, of course, who was injured, 19 games, 13-2 with a .925. So goaltending's been huge. The defense, mainly the top 4, have been huge. Third pairing, pretty disappointing. They are both plus players, which is nice. But some questions. Some big questions about this team. And you look down at the Providence Bruins. Right now, things are looking okay. Riley Stillman is the defenseman that has come out of nowhere despite being a 4th-round pick of the Florida Panthers. Like, things are looking okay. Matthew Strome, 24 points in 26 games. You could argue deserves a call-up. Charlie McAvoy, too. His attributes are at least going up, so that's nice. But despite winning, and that's the tough thing, despite winning, we have some questions because this is a bubble waiting to burst. The floor is going to drop out at some point, and I could easily see us finishing in a wild card spot. This is unsustainable, our goaltending that is propping us up right now. The fact that Gregor, the third-line center, has more points than Nolan Patrick. Chmelevski on the fourth line has 15 points. And we have to get rid of somebody. We either have to send someone down or trade somebody, and that's why I stopped this now. Do we want to trade Cole Castles? You know, his stealing, this is pretty much it. 83, 84 overall. It is a tough situation to be in. And actually, let's go take a look league-wide at what is going on. Again, we have hit the halfway point of the season with 41 games played. So let's take a look. The point leader is Derek Brassard. Go figure. 45 points in 40 games. Tarasenko, McDavid, Jesse Puljujarvi up there for the Oilers. Not too bad at all. David Pastrnak is close, though, with 39 points. So that is good. Of course, Tyler Seguin with 42. So our top line has been competitive, although you could argue whether you want Stromwall or Skinner there. The top line's been competitive, the defense has been good, and the goaltending has been good. But secondary scoring, as David Krejci has 36 points in 39 games, yikes. The secondary scoring is an issue for us. And if we don't get that secondary scoring outside of that top line, if those guys don't get going, if we go into a playoff series, we're going to get shit on. Like, there's just no way. We need to get everybody else outside of the top line and on defense going. I was thinking maybe Patrice Bergeron would be up there in terms of scoring. He hasn't been. We will take a look at the rookies, though. Gabe Vilardi, 38 points. That's kind of why we wanted to get him, and I guess that's why Detroit didn't want to get rid of him, as he looks like he is running away, with the exception of Hannu Herme. And it's funny, Vevalainen is there for Dallas. So Hannu Herme actually has a shot at winning the Calder. That would be funny, but I mean, Tuukka's still performing well. I think Tuukka is still our best option for now. But a lot of questions. A lot of questions. Who do we move out? Do we send someone down? Do we trade someone? Do we go for a big trade and really risk shaking things up to put this team into a better spot? Brian Little is actually still available too as a free agent, so we could go out and sign him for the rest of the year and even put him on the third or fourth line. Like, we have a lot of options, but again, we're winning. And that's the scary thing. We are still winning. But the second round picks, I mean, if we don't use them to make trades, we'll make trades at the draft and just trade up and get, at least 3 first-round picks, because our first-round pick, as it is, we could use our first-round pick because it's not going to be worth much if we keep winning. It's a tough situation, and that's why I want your help. That's what I want to know, all of you. Yes, even you. I'm talking to you right now. America, I want you to let me know what you think we should do, because it's risky. It's risky. We could mess with the chemistry, locker room chemistry of 87, which is looking pretty good, or we can make the team even better, even more dominant, and get to Vancouver-esque levels, Nordiques-esque levels of just ripping everybody a new asshole, which it's fun when your team wins to that extent. And actually, really quick, I checked in the fantasy series. We actually have the highest scoring offense in the league and the best goaltending in the league. I don't know what to think. With that many underperforming players, I don't know how that is possible. But guys, that'll do it for this one. Like I said, let me know. And as always, if you did enjoy the episode, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Help support me and my channel. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already, to continue following this series and others. If you haven't, go check out the playlist category, man. There's some decent stuff. We're getting close to 500 videos. We'll hit 500 videos probably by the end of February, early March. It's pretty fucking crazy. It is. I can't believe I've been able to maintain this production level. But don't worry, eventually I'll give up. Eventually we'll hit the point where I can do this as a living, and then I'll get to like 1 video a month, and then ta-da. Don't think I'm shitting on anybody specific, because I'm not. I'm just fucking around. I am tired. You want to know how tired I am? It's 3:10 in the morning. I'm fucking tired. And because of that, I'm going to bed. So thank you all again for watching this video. Let me know your opinion down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. 31, 6, and 4. Who the hell saw that coming?